Nice.
I picked glitter
That's so
on.
cute.
Yes, because it's all dreamy and all mystical. Welcome everybody to Real Talk with Casey and JoJo. What's up, Casey?
Jojo, what up? What are we talking about?
So, okay, real talk. He is not too happy about talking about this, but I am. And so I think this is perfect because you get one side of the spectrum and the total opposite, right? Like the realistic science, idealistic, and I'm like mystical. Let's talk dreams.
If this metaphor makes it to the final cut, I will be shocked. But you know what this is like?
What?
This is like if a dude can't get an erection and we're talking about the power of erections, right? Because I don't dream, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Perfect.
like I do dream, but I don't remember them very much. And when I do, it's super cool. But like I'm next to you and you dream every night and I mean this girl
I
spends
think you're
30
just
minutes.
comparing.
Exactly. I'm comparing erections to not having one. And it's like, yo.
But that's perfect.
But let's do this.
Yeah, because you know what? There's people from all, the whole spectrum. There's people that don't dream at all to people who have vivid prophetic
All
dreams,
kinds of
etc. So we're going to break down the 7 states of dreams. That's just different types of dreams. And he's like, okay, whatever, this is the JoJo show.
It's the JoJo show. What the fuck I'm gonna say?
And I'm like, no, because you have an opinion. And I think that you have, watch, he's going to be talking a lot. You're going to have something to say about each one of them. I promise, because you still have an opinion, right?
You're right. I do have an opinion.
Yeah. So let's do this. Okay. The first one is daydreaming. Now, let's bring out the arm again, just for those who haven't seen it before. When you're down in this earth realm of the physical reality and you're awake, right? The closest to getting to a state of meditation would be daydreaming, right? It's kind of like meditation, but with your eyes open. You could also have your eyes closed because you're still in a state of awakeness. So it's that level of, I'm here, but I'm also somewhere else. And I'm imagining I am, following my intuition, kind of just seeing where my creative juices are taking me.
Right? Yeah, I've always been amazed at like daydreaming when that happens. And it doesn't have to be daydreaming. I mean, it happens when you're writing. It happens if you're into an activity, if you're, playing video games, for example. Like you don't hear everything else is just fades away and it's just you and that task. And that's a pretty cool feeling.
Think about it.
That's always like interested me.
Okay. Think about all the times that you're driving somewhere, right?
Yeah, true.
And you lose track of time and you all of a sudden you get there and you realize, oh my God, where did
turning?
Right? Because what were you doing? You were daydreaming.
Yeah.
Right. And how many times does that happen? Our body takes over, right? Our programmed mind. What is it? The part that just is on automatic. What is that called? The part that's automatic that just takes over. There's a science word for that.
Parasympathetic? I don't know.
Okay, no.
Told you. JoJo show.
No. It's the part that's your subconscious, right? Like the part that does the body, like basically everything habitual, right?
Autonomous nervous system.
You're going way too deep. I'm just talking about like the basic term. But anyway, the point is that is one step from the awake state, monkey brain, thinking all the time. And how many times do people say, it's very difficult for me to meditate because I think too much, right? And so then they avoid meditating when that's kind of getting your brain, your mind warmed up and used to.
What's the reasoning behind that? Like, if I think all the time, why do I not want to sit down and meditate? Because then my thoughts become louder.
Yeah, and how many times do we suppress things that we're thinking and we don't want to think about it? We don't want to face it. We don't want to face our shadows. We don't want to face the things that we need to fix, the things we need to heal, etc. Right? So we distract ourselves. And when we sit down in meditation, all those things start to come up. Everything that we have distracted ourselves with, plus the stuff that we suppressed.
You get all these thoughts and you just don't know what to do with
They're very overwhelming, right? And so people are constantly with that goal in mind of, well, I want to shut my brain, but I can't because I'm thinking too much, right? So I think daydreaming is a great way to kind of open up your mind to allow kind of the intuitive side or the right side, spiritual side, to start kicking in and help make it easier for when you do meditate, when you do close your eyes, when you are still, because then you, instead of thinking so much, you kind of shut that down and allow your imagination to take over, your daydreaming side to
And
take
that's a big
over.
shift. I mean, if you're used to thinking all the time and you have to go into silence, like that's a big shift.
It is a big shift. It's a
That's a
huge
hard
another
step to
world.
take. But it's cool though, because like I think when you understand the power of that side, right? Like you want to be there more. You know, you realize
Yeah.
how useless, not useless, but how incapable the left side is of making like really good choices. You know what I mean?
Think about when you get a massage. Like you're awake because you're getting massaged,
Mhm.
but your mind is all over the place, right? And you can start daydreaming and you can start getting in that state where it's uh you're here but you're not here,
Yeah.
depending on how long you get a
You know what helped
massage
me?
for.
You know
But
what helped me with meditation? This is totally off track. But when I got my first like tattoo, and I'm talking about like sitting there for like an hour and you're just getting tattooed.
wait, which one?
But either one on either arm. Not this one, because that was like short and sweet and it was painful as hell. But like when you sit in a and get a tattoo for an hour and you just got this nagging pain, it allows you to like sort of you feel the pain and the pain's always in your awareness, but you have to get very good at sort of like detaching from it,
And being
right?
still.
Right. And that for me, getting that first like, hour, 2 hour tattoo, like really helped me sort of understand what that right side was like. You know what I mean? What it was like to detach from that monkey brain. So if you don't understand, just go get a 2 hour tattoo
No,
and work out.
there's so many different ways. um Are you done?
Chair,
We'll
man.
stop moving.
I'm
The
tired.
chair keeps squeaking. There's so many different ways that you can daydream. So daydream is, first of all, number one, a great way to kind of get deeper and deeper and stimulate your pineal, because what we're getting into is just peeling the onions of getting deeper and deeper and deeper into being able to see more and more and more from different perspectives. So let's get into number two. Number two is just a normal dream.
Normal dreams.
I don't know how else to put it.
What kind of dream you had?
I had normal
I had
dream.
normal dream.
So, isn't that what you normally have?
No, actually, I'm breaking these down as we're talking, and I have a recurring dreams
We
quite a
haven't
few.
gotten there yet, but
Oh shit.
don't you have a normal dream?
Yeah, sure.
Like
But those
normally?
are probably the least amount of ones I have of the
Normal
normal dreams.
dreams?
Obviously, yeah.
Okay, so a normal dream, what is that? That is you you wake up and you have no idea what happened, because it was all over the place. Things didn't make any sense. You don't really grab onto anything from it that you remember that was very clear. It's just, I know I dreamt, but I don't really remember what it was
Oh
type.
shit, maybe I do have those all the time then. Because I don't remember dreaming.
But you dream.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, there's sometimes I know, but most of the time I wake up and I'm like, okay.
Okay. So there's the normal dreams, right? Which is basically your subconscious mind is trying to assimilate, not really assimilate, but everything that we have put into it, it has its own life of its own, in a sense, inside of you. So when you dream, it's kind of defragmenting, if that's, I guess, if code for computers, I don't know. But it's abstract. So it's here, it's there, you don't remember, but it's kind of cleaning itself out. So if you're not doing meditation, for example, and kind of doing that in your waking hours, then when you're sleeping, it's kind of just doing that for you. All these random thoughts that you have throughout the day, which can go anywhere from 50 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, right? And if we don't sit there and clear that out, then our dream time is going to do that for us. So it's kind of like just flushing out the system of your mind and your thoughts. So that's number two, normal dreams. Most of society has normal dreams. Let's keep going. Number three, recurring dreams. So recurring dreams are more of, obviously, they keep recurring, right? I've had dreams from way in the past, since I was like little, like in elementary school, that I would continue to have over and over all throughout past high school. It was so weird because I'm like, is it my memory that's attached to this dream that's making me dream it over and over? Or is there something to this? Right. And a lot of times, recurring dreams, it's kind of like, hey, there's something to look at
He's
here. Hey,
trying to give you a message.
and a lot of times it could be like a past life thing that you are, getting nudged at, like, look at this because there's a pattern here that you are continuing. And a lot of times our dreams are reflecting the reality of what's going on inside our mind, right? And what's going on inside our world, our physical reality. So it kind of just like our mind, like we project in the physical reality what it is that we're thinking, what it is that we're feeling, etc. It also does the same thing, inwardly. So
Right.
everything that's going on, you kind of dream about it, right? But there's always a meaning towards it. I always wake up and I'm like, oh, let me see the meaning of this. Let me see the meaning of that, right? But recurring dreams, pay attention. It's trying to tell you something, that there's a pattern there. It's like it's a nudge. So especially with recurring dreams, I suggest writing them down, having a little journal beside your nightstand and just writing that down, because a lot of times you can go back to that dream and see things you didn't see before, and you'll start to build a story around it. And that story could be that chunk that you needed from a past life, from a whatever life, just a chunk of information that you needed to understand the puzzle of your now life.
Hold on. So I have a question.
Yeah.
So I keep having a recurring dream. Where is this recurring dream coming from? Is it coming from outside of me, or is it my own brain, subconscious, that's trying to teach myself a corrective lesson? So it's teaching itself, or is this something coming from like a higher self, from the ethers, if you will?
It could be both. And this is where you have to ask yourself questions. This is where you have to this is why it's so important to write it down, because certain things that you remember, certain words, certain pictures or visuals, especially if you remember, means that there's something to that, and it's sparking a memory.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because what I'm thinking is like
it's all symbolic, like it's symbols, right? I can't never say this word. Symbological, symbolical, symbolism.
Symbological.
Yeah, let's go with that one. So, when it's symbological, whatever, it kind of sparks you to think of other things. For example, I have a lot of dreams with animals, right? And that doesn't mean that an animal is, this is happening with the animal. It's the symbolism behind the animal and how that makes me feel, and that maybe I'm feeling that way.
Well, so what I was going to say is I'm sitting there thinking, most people, I don't think, wake up with dream analysis on their mind, unless it's like something that's super powerful, but those don't happen often. Right. But,
or they think it, but they don't think anything of it.
But, like I'm on this programming kick lately, where it's like, you think about the programming, and if, I don't know a lot about dreams other than my own personal ones, but I don't understand depths of the science of it and all that stuff. But what I hear you saying is that if you make dream analyzation a habit, then essentially you can receive messages, information, things that will make your life easier, right? So okay, cool, that makes sense. But who has the fucking time to do that, right? It's like, I know you have to make the time, but back to the programming, right? Like, we're programmed to get up, drink a cup of coffee so I can wake up, take my shower, start my day, get my kids ready. I mean, that analyzing your dreams takes some time and effort. And maybe I'm making a big deal out of it. Maybe it's a 5-minute activity, but it's you have to be dedicated, like, right? Like, you got to be committed to this.
You know what? I think it's about priorities, and priorities are, like, for everybody different. Your priority is to get up and go to the gym. My priority is to make sure I have about 3 hours of time in the morning because I'm going to sit there and analyze my dream. I'm going to sit there and look up what it meant. I'm going to sit there and meditate on it.
Okay, and so
You know what I mean? So my priorities are totally different than yours.
so
And I take a lot of time
yeah,
analyzing my dreams.
no, that's cool. And so do you have an example of a message that you've received from a dream, from analyzing your dream standpoint that's helped you fix something or anything like that?
What?
Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just trying to see if you're gonna go with that one time with the bees. Can I share that story?
With the bees.
Yes. Okay. So this, I don't think this is like a recurring dream, but I'm trying to give you an example of this dream. Um, I normally get up and I interpret it, right? And I remember waking up the next morning and going, "Oh my God, I saw 3 bees on a wall." And it was very specific. There was just 3 bees on a wall. And it was very,
Yeah.
like, it caught my attention out of everything that happened in my dream. That's what caught my attention. And so I looked it up, etc. What was it? Like the day later
Or
or
maybe even the same morning. I don't know.
I don't remember if it was a day later or what, but we're at a at a location I had never been to before to take some pictures. And I'll just put it up right now. But basically, here I am taking pictures, and the photographer who I had already shared this with, who is like my best friend, and I was like, "Look, this is what I had dreamt or whatever," is taking the picture and it's like, "Oh my God, turn around." And I look and there's a wall with like graffiti and stuff painted with 3 bees on the wall.
Yeah, I remember that. I've never felt like the biggest third wheel until that happened. Because I was like, what the fuck is so funny? Why are you guys in such amazement? This is crazy.
Yes.
Like, duh.
I had that conversation. I had that conversation with him. And I was like, what does this 3 bees on the wall have to do with anything? So we had that conversation and he's the one that noticed it. So we're just like, oh.
Well, when something epic happens like that, as the third wheel, you have no choice but to wait until the epicity, if that's even a word, dies down. It has to come down because they don't want to talk to you. They want to share the magicalness of the moment.
It was so magical.
Like, I ain't got time to tell you a 10-minute story so you can understand what we're talking about.
I even created a post after that. And it's like,
so
it was like, F the model picture. That's the picture that I ended up posting, because how weird, right? That I had just dreamt of that. And then here I was. And the person that I had shared that with was the one that happened to catch that, And
so then what was the message? What was your end all be all translation of that experience? Just that it was letting you know that the universe is present? Or what was your take?
Okay, well, see, that one is going to go along with prophetic dreams. And that's something we're going to go. That's way down the list. But I just had to share that story because that's kind of like my recurring dreams are that I keep recurrently getting dreams about animals. And I think it's because that's my way of interpreting. I can interpret better when it's an animal because I can tell the difference right away, right? And I know that it's just part of my dream. So
that's dope. That's like self-actualization.
Yes. No, cool. It gets better. It gets better. So number 4 is nightmares. Let's talk about nightmares. I know you've had nightmares before. What is your take on that?
How do you know you're an adult? Like when you stop dreaming about monsters being in the closet and then you start dreaming about like bad shit that's happened to you in your adult life. Is that how you know you're an adult?
And then it creates
like anxiety.
It creates a nightmare, the stuff that you've done.
Like it's funny, man, because the kind of nightmares we have, I think it was a comedian who did this, but like she'll wake up and be mad at me. And I'm like, what are you mad at me for? You cheated on me in my dream. I said, oh, that sucks. What happened? Oh, damn, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry. I didn't do anything, but I'm sorry you experienced that. But she treats me, and I do the same thing to her. Like we treat each other like we were actually the ones that did it because it's just like that heavy. But that's the type of shit I have nightmares about.
And sometimes it's like, oh God, here we go again. He's having a dream about something and now he's mad at me. And then you hear the door slam and it's like,
that's true story.
What's wrong? Nothing.
You gonna kiss me, bye? No.
No. And I know that people need time to process because it does feel real. Like even though the dream is a dream, the feeling is still a feeling, which means there's feelings there that are coming up for a reason. The attachment, the fear sometimes of nightmares, it's really showing you fears that you have to overcome, things that you have to heal from. It's basically things that you have to heal from, things that you've suppressed, right? I remember having a dream once of this really scary kind of demonic entity, right? It was like the devil, right? It like back then when I believed in monsters, like that.
Yeah, so it was the perpetuated human devil.
It's whatever. Yes,
devil.
right. It's whatever you believe in, right? And I remember, I think this was back when I was working with the whole shadow self of overcoming my fears, right? Overcoming my darkness, right? And I remember looking at it face to face with this, we're gonna call it demon, whatever it was. And I looked right through my own fear, stared it like in the face, and was basically like, how can I help you? Like, what do you need? And it needed a hug. And so the unconditional loving side of me got over my fear. And I was like, okay, it just needs a hug. And when I hugged it, it like disappeared into like a kid. It was like a kid, but it was like a kid that grew into this monster, and now everybody was looking at it like a monster, like it was demonic, like this energy had built up into this, like nobody, like everybody was scared of it. But when I faced it and I got over my fear because I wanted to show my love, because it said it needed a hug, it disappeared and it was a kid. And I was like, and I remember that dream because it impacted me, like, oh, it helped me understand that energetically a lot of people could look like monsters, and inside they really just need a hug.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that helped me kind of see things, and it was a nightmare because I remember I was scared, I was running from it, and it took a while. It was like one of those things where you're just trying to run from it, but then you finally just stop, and
the demon was chasing you for a hug.
People were running away from it, and they were all like trying to get away from this huge devil demon or whatever, and I was running too. But then when I finally like came across it, it was just me and him, and it was different.
You were just out of breath. You were like, I can't no more.
I can't no more. No. But that really changed everything for me, and it was a good nightmare. Just like I've had one where a snake kind of got right in my face, and I'm scared of snakes.
Have you?
And I just grabbed it right here, and I was like, "What do you want?" And that was gone. So I think it's about getting over your fears.
Have you ever been out of breath in a dream? I don't know that I ever have. Right? Like that just doesn't exist.
You know
what it's like?
The ones that are stuck where you feel like you want to move but you can't, and you're really slow, but that's not really out of breath.
You know what it's like? It's like it's like the Matrix. Yeah. It's a lot like the Matrix. It's like
he's like,
he never
breathing?
He never got tired in the Matrix. He could fight all day, and there were, you could defy the laws of physics, so to speak.
You're in the astral world.
You're in the Matrix.
Yeah, you're out of this world and you're in the astral world. You're in the spiritual world.
I know we talked about, I guess it was last week sometime, we were talking about dreams, right? And it's like, what if, because some of the dreams that you have are just completely out there, like the normal dreams, right? Where it's just random, right? And it's just very like simplistic or whatever. But there's some that you have, and it's like so real, right?
Okay, and so let's move on to the fifth one. Okay, so vivid and lucid dreams.
Right. So what if it's like the conversation was what if when you dream, right? Like just like when we're awake, we're in this dream, this reality. But what if when we sleep, we're essentially disconnecting from this reality and reconnecting to
like an avatar,
another reality? Yes, just like Lavatar. Yeah, I mean Lavatar.
Avatar.
Yeah, but I mean you're experiencing a moment. If you've seen Interstellar, right? There, he can sift through this like 4D 5D world and pick any moment that in time that he wants and experience it for himself. It's kind of like, so what if
out
dreams,
of time and space?
Right. What if dreams are us disconnecting from this reality and connecting to the 5D? And I guess then that begs the question, can you control it? So vivid, lucid dreams.
Okay. So let's talk about that. So, vivid would be something like, man, that felt so real. Like you really can put yourself in that situation, but while you're dreaming, you still haven't realized that you're dreaming. You're just really feeling it as if it's real. Um, that's vivid. Okay. So I'm just going to keep it there. Lucid dreams is more of where it super feels real. And then because it feels so real, you become aware that you're dreaming while you're in your dream. And that awareness snaps you into being able to do anything and anything that you want. So I remember I have a lot of these. The lucid dreams where all of a sudden I realize I'm gonna share this one. I'm driving and I'm looking at my hands and I realize, oh God, I'm dreaming. So I don't need the car. Why am I in the car? Let me just fly. And I start flying all around the place because I know that I'm dreaming. And then that is amazing and so much fun.
There's so many questions. Like, did you transition? Did the car just disappear and then wings
Yeah,
appear?
no, the car disappeared. I don't need
It just like
wings.
dissolved,
The car just disappeared and all of a sudden I was just flying.
like Superman, Superwoman.
Yeah. Yeah, all over the place. And I was aware of that because I had control over that. Like a lot of my flying dreams, I'm very aware that I'm dreaming. And that's why I enjoy that, like when I'm flying.
Yeah, because I've heard you many times. Like you're most excited to go to bed so you can dream.
Yes, because you never know, and especially when you set intentions. But a lot of times lucid dreams can feel draining when you wake up. Because it felt so real then. It's like you were living and doing so much. And then, I mean, it really is like Avatar. Like, he was doing so much in one and then he'd come back and he'd be tired and exhausted. And he's like, I just can't tell the difference anymore between the two. A lot of times when you have a lot of lucid dreams or a lot of vivid dreams, it could be feeling very exhausting. But pay so close attention to what it's trying to tell you, because when you're starting to lucid dream, that means that you're able to really have awareness and step outside of your 3D self, step outside of the physical reality, and have control over that realm, what you do there.
Yeah, I've had. I think I know of lucid dream before, but it doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about the sixth one. The sixth one,
I'm most interested in this because I'm like, what the hell is that?
yeah, the sixth one is the false awakening dreams. So this is like Inception. You know how in Inception, it was like a dream within a dream, and they might wake up, but they're still in a dream. So I've had this happen to me where I was dreaming. There was a bunch of bats inside of a truck. See, here I go with the animals again. And I was feeling very drained. I had a vampire energy sucking person in my life. So that was what it was trying to tell me. And I remember like going crazy because of the bats and wanting to get out of this truck. And so I wake up from the inside the truck into this room where I was in bed with you. And I get up from the bed and I'm looking around and I realize, oh, I'm still dreaming. So that was kind of like a lucid dream. I realized I was still dreaming, but I remembered going and shifting from the scene of the van to being in the room, thinking I was awake and realizing, oh, that was a false awakeness. I'm still in a dream.
And so what do you think what's the purpose? What's the lesson in a false awakening?
Okay, so in that, I feel like you're going deeper and deeper from your the conscious, subconscious, unconscious mind, where it's really trying to get deep into things, because I had to connect the pieces in that one, between the bats trying to tell me about this vampire draining person that was sucking the life out of me. What I found in the bedroom when I did wake up, and then I don't remember the details right now, but I do remember that there was a lot to it. There was many puzzles of that. And I feel like it was just another layer of my conscious.
So you're just unlocking doors in your subconscious, basically.
Pretty much. So that's why it's important. Why? Because this is all of us. this life is us, our dreams is us, this is
Well, and I guess
us,
so.
our
And the whole point is that the
consciousness.
more doors that I open, the more, I guess, depth I can uncover. And when I uncover depth, I essentially know thyself. And if we're being real, the process of enlightenment is such, right? Because if I know myself, I'm essentially clearing up things that allow the energy in my body to not flow properly. And the more I can flow, the better I could be.
Exactly. And the better that you understand yourself, the more you understand the world around you and everybody else. Because essentially we're all one, right? So let's go to the last one, which is my favorite, the seventh one, which is prophetic dreams. This is actually where I started because I had prophetic dreams since I was little. I used to have dreams all the time about random things that would later happen. Then it became more of prophetic visions where I would see things through my daydream sort of download that would then happen.
Do you think that this is a source of deja vu?
So deja vu is like kind of tapping into that parallel world. So if you believe in the multi-universe or multiverse,
so maybe that's not the right word for it. So because I've had this happen to me before where I'm like, yo, I dreamt this. I'm in a moment where I feel like I dreamt exactly this. And it's nothing magical. It's not like I'm, hitting a home run in the World Series or something. It's just simply I'm like, for this, for example, this didn't really happen, but as an example, like I dreamed that we would be doing a podcast on dreaming. And this was long before we ever talked about doing a podcast. Right. It's stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like, is that deja vu? Is that a form of deja vu?
So this is how I look at it. Let's say that this is the construct of the game of Earth, right? And this is the matrix. This is the grid, holding in all of the whatever. Think of a game, right, on the computer or PS4 or whatever. Everything is within that construct, right? All the ones and zeros. But outside of time and space, there's everything.
Right.
And then so when we get out of time and space through meditation, for example, right? Because we go within, and when we go within, we're going outwardly. We are kind of accessing the Akashic field, right? All the potentials, future, all the past, we're essentially gathering bits and pieces of information. And if you think of light as information, it is forever like going and expanding. So you can't really consume all of it, or else you would be God, right? God is light. And so you can only get but so much, right? And we get pieces of, for example, future potentials, which could be either a parallel or tapping into that timeline, which would be now, where you saw this already in the non-physical.
Right.
And now it's in the physical.
Right.
But it's like you're looking into the game. You saw that happening in the game. And then now in the game, you're having that connection of, wait, I saw this before. Your non-physical self saw that before.
Yeah, I like the fishbowl metaphor better. Like same thing, but it's like a fishbowl, and the fish can only experience reality within this bowl.
Yeah.
But there's a whole nother world outside of this bowl.
Yes. That makes perfect sense.
Fishbowl.
I like that.
I contributed. Hey, go me.
No, but prophetic dreams are very important. This is why I think I've always been taking my dreams so seriously and being very tapped into trying to figure out what my dream analysis, figuring out what they mean. Because since I've always had some type of prophetic dream, in the beginning, it scared me because I was like, oh God, what am I doing? Like, oh, how is this happening? Sure. Right. But then in paying attention, it's like puzzle pieces. I'm always saying this, puzzle pieces. It's like, if I pay attention to this puzzle piece and I really analyze it, then maybe when I grab another puzzle piece, I can totally know exactly where it goes and make it fit, and it'll make sense. So I pay close attention to it because, hey, it might be something that ends up happening. And when it happens, I can remember, oh, I dreamt this because I already took the time to analyze it.
Well, I kind of see it like the way I'm understanding it, and just let me know, is that if I have prophetic dreams first, and that's my primary form of dreaming, right? Which is what you said your
For
experience
me,
was, right?
yes.
Then I'm basically being introduced very quickly to, there's something to this, right? Like if this keeps happening, there's something to dreams. So if I'm open, if I understand that first and foremost, then it's going to basically open me up towards accepting all the other ways that and types of dreams that can help you interpret life, right? Does that make sense?
Right, which is probably why I get so many lucid dreams, so many vivid dreams constantly every night. And to me, it's like, okay, I can tap into all these different lifetimes, these different, because sometimes I've had dreams and it's not even, we didn't mention it, but past life dreams. Um, you can kind of tell when it's a past life. You know how I've woken up sometimes and I've told you, oh my God, this was definitely a past life. And this is what happened. And these, you normally know because you're around like your soul family and you know exactly who they are and they might not even look like them. Like I remember once it was like I was in this like ninja Asians type of feel and my entire family was there, but everybody looked different, but I knew who it was. So kind of like in the movie, What Dreams May Come, how he saw the Asian girl, but really it was his daughter,
Right.
right? But it's kind of like you can feel who they
Yeah,
are.
energetically.
Energetically, exactly. So when you can feel everybody like your soul family, that's a past life and it's trying to tell you something. Just follow it along. It's like a little string and you just keep following it and detangling it until you understand like your soul journey. Because see,
That's dope.
I'm just trying to get into like, I don't care. Yes, I do care about this lifetime, but I care about all of them. Like I care, I'm saying that it's not just this lifetime that I care about my soul journey.
Right. Yeah,
Where
you're looking
am
at it from the
I?
macro.
Right. Where am I on this whole entire soul journey? And that therefore I look at the micro. I look at my dreams because they're all trying to tell me something about the macro.
Right. No, that's dope. So last question. If if I'm listening to this and I'm like, I want to dream more, or I want to pay more attention to my dreams, blah 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 blah. Do you have any tips, like things to help yourself dream, things to help remember your dreams, just anything that would help this path of
Yes.
dream analyzation?
Yes. So, for example, in the QE Academy, um, we have a entire course about mastering yourself, right? And we take you through 4 different master levels. The first one has 7 keys, 7 modules of kind of mastering the mind. Then there's mastering the body, mastering kind of the world, and then the spirit. And so these 4 end up together helping you master yourself, right? And so in the first one, there is the third eye chakra module where we go over ways of stimulating your third eye so that you're able to tap into your dreams more. Okay, so I said all that so that you can get a glimpse of what we do in the academy, but at the same time, I'm going to answer the question. So,
I'm glad you said that because I'm like,
yeah, where are you going with this? No, I was giving you a little commercial. Okay, so observation number 1. The more we observe, and what I mean by observe is not react, not talk,
unemotional,
just observe. And I think that one of the main ways to help do this is taking a day to be completely quiet, like a silence day. I want to do that so bad. We should do that in the academy one day. But do a silence day. And if you can even do a week, even better. But the more you can be in complete silence and you can listen to your thoughts, not the radio, not YouTube, not the TV in the background, not anything, maybe nature, right? But the more you can listen and tap into your own mind, the more you can be in a state of awareness. The more you exercise the state of awareness, the more you start to decalcify the pineal, because our pineal has all been calcified over time to all of us. So we have to do that by observing, because What surrounds that is your hippocampus. Your hippocampus is the place of memory. Okay, so in order to get into the place of memory where you can tap into memories of past lives, memories of future lives, memories of this life, etc., memories of your dreams, right? You have to be in that state, which means you have to meditate. But observation and awareness is what begins to kind of melt that away in a sense. So observation will help you warm up so that when you're sleeping, now you're just observing your dream.
Right.
So you can seeing it from that observation point of view where, oh, I'm dreaming. And then you're now all of a sudden in a lucid dream and you do whatever it is you want. Gotcha. So it's really all about awareness.
Cool. And so I want to add, just since you brought up the decalcification of the pineal, non-fluoride toothpaste, purchase that. That's important. What else? Obviously drinking water that's not fluorided or that is filtered out the fluoride in some way, shape, or form, if that's even possible, I don't know, is important.
No aluminum in the deodorants.
Yeah, not bottled water either. That's stuff plastic leaks out of the plastic, and that's a whole different podcast. But yeah, I mean, those are just like really easy things you can do, because unfortunately, again, back to the programming as we previously discussed, fluoride's been put in our water since I think the 60s, right? 50s, 60s. I can't remember the exact date, but long time. It's been in our water. It's in our toothpaste. It's in a lot of things. Just going natural with like the products that get in touch with your skin, since that is the biggest organ, right? Deodorants, shampoos, soaps. There's a lot of natural products out there, toothpaste and everything, where anything that comes in contact with your skin has chemicals in it, and all that stuff's being absorbed. And we personally believe, or we both believe, that if you calcify the pineal, it sort of makes the spiritual journey much more difficult, right? Like accessing, because that's your antenna, right? So you got to decalcify it. Maybe we'll do a podcast on that.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of, as far as dreams go, you could be a baby soul. You could be not in a place where you're there yet, right? But I came into this world already kind of tuned into my third eye, which helped me kind of better my gifts as far as clairvoyance and then claircognizance. But I think that the dreams are very third eye, very stimulated. So if you're like an indigo adult, an indigo child, look that up if you haven't. But
we just talked like about 5 different podcasts in the last like 5 minutes.
Yeah, maybe we should do like let's tap back into it and then come back and do a whole podcast on each one. But yeah, so basically all of this was about awareness and like levels that you eventually will be able to do the more you are aware of your spiritual astral self. Because if you think about it, yes, you are solid, right? We are made of carbon. Yes, we have hydrogen inside of us. We are made of water. Yes, we have, oxygen because we breathe in air and we, let all that out. So we have all of these, we have nitrogen. And if you separate it all at the end of the day, like we are light, and the light is a very, it's innate. It's very high intelligent, conscious. It's just it's God, bro.
I was gonna say that.
Like, you know what I mean? I mean, it's God within everything. And so the more you want to not tap in, but the more you want to connect with God, the more you want to be, your light merged in with that light of everything that is, the more right? And so the more awareness, the more, what is light but enlightenment and awareness? So I think dreams, even though it's funny because it's a paradox, even though dreams happen at night, right? During the night, they are very enlightening. It's like the moon, So yeah, that is that, the 7 states of dreaming. So, what do you feel now? Like no,
it was a good convo. I couldn't contribute much, but it was a good convo.
Yeah. I think that it gives people, a different point of view, right?
For sure. Yeah. I learned some things just listening to you. Not, let me not say learn, but let me learn practices, things I could do to,
Looking at it from a different
yeah,
perspective.
pay more attention and be more aware,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Dope.
Yes, yes, yes. So we'll see you guys next Thursday in here. We'll see you guys here next
Who knows
Thursday.
what we gonna talk about?
Right? Let's just keep it that way. All right. Peace.